How's it going, folks? Uh, so, uh, Steve Carlson has compelled me to make a video. Yeah, he came up with this world vinyl tag, uh, which is right up my street there. Um, yeah, it's a good one, Steve. Underneath that choir boy exterior, I've always known Steve's a little bit of a risk taker. So, yeah, he came up with this tag. I like the questions or prompts, however you want to call it. And yeah, we'll get started on it with the first prompt. Show a reggae album or an album influenced by reggae. I think this is an album influenced by reggae, but also a reggae album. This is Ibrahim Kesnawi, the father of Libyan reggae. I guess reggae hit the scene in Libya in the late 70s, and there was quite a number of different artists started playing reggae music, and Ibrahim Hesnawi is one of the more renowned reggae artists from Libya. And this is on Habibi Funk, which is a great, like, newish label, less than 10 years, I think. They put out some great stuff from Northern Africa, Lebanon, all different kinds of music. More contemporary, like from the 70s into the 90s even, and I think they've started putting out even new recordings. But yeah, this is great. It comes with a booklet. This was recorded, it's kind of vague, but this was recorded, I think, in 1986. And it's the only album of his that was released on LP, and that's the original cover. I believe that's the back of it. Everything else he put out was cassette only, and in the middle of this booklet shows number of the cassettes he had, starting from the late 70s all the way through. And I believe the way the notes read, he's still with us. Yeah, and as far as reggae goes, like, I'm not a reggae, I'm not very knowledgeable on reggae at all. My reggae selection is very limited, but to me, this is legit when it comes to reggae. Yeah, Ibrahim Hesnawi, father of Libyan reggae. An album sung in a language other than English. I'm going with Arabic and Warda, the Algerian flower or Algerian rose. Yeah, Warda. This is fabulous. I mean, anything I have, I only have this in a reissue. Reissue is somewhere here. But this is like majesty music. I'm usually not into like grandiose kind of, you know, large, you could say loud arrangements, like a lot of the symphonies, the really loud bombastic symphonies I'm not that into. It's a little too grand. But this, like her stuff, every song starts with a long instrumental lead in, and it builds up and builds with strings and sometimes woodwinds and lots of drums and interesting sounding keyboard. until she starts singing, and then everything seems to just nestle into place. And I don't understand Arabic, but to me, I can tell a lot of these songs are about love, longing. She was, I think, an understated revolutionary. Warda. I think she's half Algerian, half Lebanese, and made her name in Cairo. I think this was recorded live in Cairo in 1982. And her stuff is really hard to come by. I mean, I never see it. There's a reissue. There's a reissue I have out. Yeah. This Khalik Henna, which translates to please stay or please don't go. It's just a long, both sides, I think. This is a reissue on We Want Sound, so this is a little easier to attain. Album with a tribal beat. This is, I believe, out of Ghana. This is more modern, recent, from the 80s, I think early 80s. Dade Krama, who is a percussionist, and the first track on this, called Tete Nantai, has 4 percussionists, very fast rhythms and beats, very tribal. Other songs have stringed instruments, some horn. Nice cover. Music with a tribal beat. Album from the Far East. I tried to mix this up with, I show a lot of traditional music from around the globe. I tried to mix it up with more contemporary things too. So music from the Far East, I'm going with Too Much, or Junie and Too Much, out of Japan. And this is a rocker here. I think this is originally 1970. This is obviously a reissue, and this is just heavy, bluesy, some just killer ripping guitar. Junie is the singer. Side 1 is a little more heavy. Side 2 is a little more like kickback in a way, you could say. But the second side starts with a version of, just a grooving version of I Shall Be Released. Yeah, excellent stuff here. Music with a sitar. I went with some kind of rock thing again, instead of the usual ragas. This is Ananda Shankar, self-titled, from 1970 on Reprise. This never fails. Where he's with a rock band and playing sitar in the lead. And it starts off with a version of Jumpin' Jack Flash, then in a short original, then a short version of Light My Fire, which, okay. But then after that, it just really gets into it. Side 2 has 2 13-minute tracks, just psychedelic jamming. Ananda Shankar. Music from Scandinavia. Well, I'm not sure if Finland is really considered part of Scandinavia. I got this Christian Schwint Quintet for Friends and Relatives. These are recordings from the mid-60s, 64 and 66. This is nice modal jazz, kind of drawn out tracks, and this is a double album version of it with some extra material added. And it's came out about 10 years ago. But yeah, really, really nice stuff. Did I show the inside? Yeah, nice quality. But if Finland isn't part of it, then I'm kind of going with my go-to out of Stockholm, Sweden, this Tractus with Bruno Rayberg, Harold Svensson, and the American Leroy Lowe on drums. I believe he was originally from Pittsburgh. But yeah, this was recorded in Stockholm in 1975. And the inside has one of these kind of covers on the Amigo label. So there's that, Sweden for Scandinavia. An album from Africa. Okay, this is the album I'm playing. This Abba Gargando out of Mali. And if you heard that first song was something straight out of Junior Kimbrough's book. I feel like it sounds like that Mississippi Hill electric guitar, just kind of raunchy sound. Yeah, I love this kind of stuff. I got this last year, and these are pretty cheap. Sahel Sounds comes with a little card, brief notes. Yeah, album from Africa, album out of Australia, and I was thinking about this. I don't really, other than some jazz, I don't really have much from Australia. I guess AC/DC, but I don't have any kind of traditional Aboriginal music, so I just have some jazz. So I picked this Bernie McGann. It's a quintet on one side and a quartet on the other. Modern jazz at Wayside Chapel, recorded in Sydney, 1966. Side one is a quintet. Bernie McGann plays alto sax, and there's trumpet, piano, bass, and drums. In side two, the piano lays out, and it's just a quartet with alto, trumpet, bass, and drums, and they do two songs on side two, Rhythming by Monk and When Will the Blues Leave, Ornette Coleman. And this whole thing, you can hear, is very influenced by Ornette Coleman. Yeah, this is very good recording. Had this for a while. This is a reissue on something. But yeah, Australia. And something from South America. We'll go the rock route again. Out of Peru, Lima, Peru. Tarkus is the name of the band. 1972 originally. This is a Get Back reissue from 2007, I think. Yeah, this is heavy on the riffs. It's very Sabbath influenced, 1972. Maybe a little throwing some Zeppelin. There's that. Yeah, this is a really nice album. Like I said, riff heavy, kind of dark. I like the cover. Yeah. Out of Peru. Music from an island nation. Well, I got this from my great friend Jim. Showed up one day with this for me. Music of the Bahamas, Volume 2. Excellent stuff here. Much of this sounds like American gospel. And there's an assortment of people here that I don't know. The only musician I think I know of Bahamas is Joseph Spence, but he's not represented here. But this is an excellent folk waves from an island nation. Music from the Middle East. This is another thing I've acquired recently from Alex. Iraq. Munir Bashir on the oud. And he's one of the premier oud players. You say oudist? Yeah, this is very dark, very somber sounding, a lot of improvisations, taxims, Yeah, excellent. Another Okora, music of the Middle East, music from someplace cold. We'll go with the Himalayas. Heart Dance River Flow, folk music of Tibet. This is an album I found many years ago at a store. I think it was like $3. Yeah, excellent stuff. It's on a label. It's on that I don't know, but yeah, it's all music from the villages of in and around the Himalayas. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Now, the one thing that's interesting about music is, and I think a lot of people tend to look at or think of music from certain parts of the world or certain countries as maybe sounding similar, all the same, but it's not the case. I mean, Africa is a huge continent with different cultures, different countries, different people, and the music is wide ranging. And like Tibet, I have about a dozen or so albums from Tibet, and it's varied in style. And the music, some of it is just pure vocals, some of it is instrumentation. There are various reasons as to why they're making this music, and that all plays into it. So, yeah, I guess we shouldn't pigeonhole things like Africa is all about this, Brazil is all about the bossa nova or samba. There's a lot of stuff happening everywhere. So yeah, from a cold country. Garage rock album from another country other than the US, UK, or Canada. This one was actually hard because the stuff I have that's rock is either really heavy, bluesy, maybe even progressive, not really much in the garage vein necessarily, but I think this could fit, is this Soggy out of France. Yeah, this is like recordings from 80, 81, and 82. Just kicks your ass. I guess it's more punk, but at the same time, there's a garage feel to it. They do a version of I Want to Be Your Dog. Here they are, and you gotta love this cover with the singer who goes by Beb, B-E-B. And this is on Outer Battery. Yeah, so the closest thing I have to garage rock. Favorite album from a country other than the usual. I mean, that could be anything, but I took this to show because I love this record. It's from Uruguay, Mateo and Trisante, Eduardo Mateo, George Trisante. This is fabulous. There's vocals on here. I think Eduardo Mateo sings, plays guitar, writes most of the stuff, or maybe all of it. Yeah, he writes all of it. Trisante plays percussion. There's another drummer and electric bass and flute. Just lovely, gorgeous music here. I don't even really know how to describe it. It's almost like an acoustic kind of. I don't like the term singer-songwriter because that brings about a certain connotation. But yeah, I mean, this is just excellent, lovely stuff. And the other one that kind of goes along with it for me is this Musician 4.5, another one with Eduardo Mateo. And this is early recordings, and this is a reissue of this album, plus one record of unreleased stuff. This is a double. Comes with a thick booklet. the whole story of his. Yeah, these are excellent, out of Uruguay. And the last one, hard to pronounce, album or someone's name that's hard to pronounce. I mean, I feel like I try to pronounce things really hard, really to the best of my ability, and it's, you know, the hardest things for me to pronounce are French words. I don't know why. Because technically I learned French as a kid before I learned English, but then it stopped, and now I just completely butcher French. But I just kind of was looking and I'm like, I don't know, I'll just show this out of Ethiopia. Alemayehu Esheti. Maybe it's difficult to pronounce because of the way it's actually on the cover at the angle. Yeah, Ethiopian guitar player. I think this was recorded in the early or mid 70s. This was a part of the Ethiopics CD series, and they condensed this down to one record. Hypnotic, kind of whirling, swirling guitar on here. Yeah, really cool. Alemayehu Esheti. All right, that's it. Good one, Carlson. Thanks for the inspiration. We'll see where we go from here. All right, everyone take care.